Energy. Energy is the ability to do work. The word work means transferring energy from one place to another place. Energy is neither destroyed nor created. It can only be changed. Types of energy: mechanical, electrical, chemical, nuclear, electromagnetic, thermal, sound, and radiant energy. These are the types of energy we will see one by one in detail. Now first, mechanical energy. Any object in motion has mechanical energy. It is the very most simplest definition of mechanical energy. For example, a ball flying through the air is the example of mechanical energy. It is shown here. Second one, electrical energy. Energy caused by the movement of electrons. It is shown pictorial here. Energy caused by the movement of electrons. It is transported through power lines and converted into other forms of energy. It is about electrical energy. Now, the chemical energy. Chemical energy comes from bonds between the atoms in molecules. Chemical change equals to energy released. For example, gasoline burning in a car. Food we eat. From that food, the energy is generated, which we'll use for our day-to-day work. Nuclear energy. It comes from the reactions between atomic nuclei. Hence, it is nuclear energy. Fission splits, fusion combines, huge amounts of energy is generated. Electromagnetic energy includes energy from gamma rays, X-rays, ultraviolet rays, visible light, infrared rays, microwave and radio bands. Electromagnetic energy. Next one is thermal energy. The thermal energy is the internal kinetic energy and it considers the motion of every constitutive particle of the system. Thermal energy is the internal kinetic energy and considers the motion of every constitutive particle of the system. Those particles are molecules, atoms, electrons. Now we see about sound energy. Vibration of molecules in surrounding medium is known as sound energy. Usually the vibrations of molecules in surrounding medium as air, radiant energy. Radiant energy flows through the empty space. For example, sunlight, radio waves, X-rays are the examples of radiant energy which flows through the empty space. The sources of energy. What are the sources of energy available in nature and their types? Now there are two types. One is renewable energy sources and second one is non-renewable energy sources. Now we can discuss here these both sources of energy in detail with their subtypes. Now what do you mean by renewable energy? Those sources of energy which are being produced continuously in nature and will never be exhausted are called renewable sources of energy. These sources from nature will never be exhausted are the renewable sources of energy. Now we talk about the natural sources. Energy, the fuel of life. First natural source of energy is solar energy. It comes under the radiant energy form. Biomass energy, wind energy, geothermal energy and hydropower energy. Means renewable energy is the direct natural sources and these are the natural sources in order to produce the renewable energy. Now we will explain these sources one by one in detail. Solar energy, biomass energy, wind energy, geothermal energy and hydropower energy. Non-renewable energy sources. These sources of energy which have been produced in nature over a very long time cannot be quickly replaced when exhausted. Non-renewable energy sources of energy which have been produced in nature over a very long time and cannot be quickly replaced when exhausted are called non-renewable sources of energy. Coal, natural gas, nuclear power energy and through fossil fuel oil. Renewable sources energy. Solar energy. Solar energy is the most readily available source of energy. It does not belong to anybody and therefore it is free. It is also most important of the non-conventional sources of energy because it is non-polluting and therefore helps in lessening the greenhouse effect. Solar energy is the totally free source of energy. It is non-polluting, helps in lessening the greenhouse effect. Biomass energy. Biomass is a renewable energy resource derived from the carbonaceous waste of various human and natural activities. It is derived from numerous sources, including the byproducts from the timber industry, agricultural crops, raw material from the forest, major parts of the household waste and wood. It is about biomass energy. Hydel energy. The energy in the flowing water can be used to produce electricity is known as hydel energy or hydropower may be say to it. Waves result from the interaction of the wind with the surface of the sea and represent a transfer of energy from the wind to the sea. Waves result from the interaction of the wind with the surface of the sea and represent a transfer of energy from the wind to the sea. Energy can be extracted from tides by creating a reservoir or basin behind a barrage and then passing tidal waters through turbines in the barrage to generate the electricity which is known as hydel energy or hydropower energy. Geothermal energy. We live between two great sources of energy. First one, the hot rocks beneath the surface of the earth and second one, the sun in the sky. We live between two great sources. One is surface of the earth and second one is sun in the sky. Our ancestors knew the value of geothermal energy. Hence, they bathed and cooked in hot springs. Today we have recognized that this resource has potential for much broader application. Wind energy. Wind energy is the kinetic energy associated with the movement of atmospheric air. Wind energy is the kinetic energy associated with the movement of atmospheric air. It has been used for hundreds of years for sailing, grinding grain, and for irrigation. Wind energy systems convert this kinetic energy to more useful forms of power. Wind energy systems for irrigation and mining have been in use since ancient times, and since the beginning of the 20th century, it is being used to generate electric power. Windmills for water pumping have been installed in many countries, particularly in the rural areas. Non-renewable energy sources. First one is coal. Coal is the most abundant fossil fuel in the world. During the formation of coal, carbonaceous matter was first compressed into a spongy material called as peat. It is about 90% of water. As the peat became more deeply buried, the increased pressure and temperature turned it into coal. Now, second part of non-renewable energy is oil. Crude oil or liquid petroleum is a fossil fuel that is refined into many different energy products: gasoline, diesel, fuel, jet fuel, heating oil, and so on. Oil forms underground in rock such as shale, which is rich in organic materials. It is the second source as oil in non-renewable energy sources. Now the next one is nuclear power. In most electric power plants, water is heated and converted into steam, which drives a turbine generator to produce electricity. Fossil fuel power plants produce heat by burning coal, oil, natural gas. In a nuclear power plant, the fission of uranium atoms in the reactor provides the heat to produce steam for generating electricity. Natural gas. Natural gas production is often a byproduct of oil recovery, as the two commonly share underground reservoirs. Natural gas is a mixture of gases, the most common being methane. It also contains some ethane, propane, and butane. Natural gas is usually hot contaminated with sulfur and is therefore the cleanest burning fossil fuel as the natural gas. Thanks for watching.